We've come to the end of the, we've come to the last question, I should say. I'll rephrase that, because it's 5 to 9. So we've just got 5 minutes, 1 minute from each panellist, please, to respond to question 10. Shane, you've just finished one, so I was going to start from this end of the table with Victoria. So, Megan, are you, where are you? There you are. Would you like to ask this?
What does sustainability mean to each of you personally?
Victoria.
It's taken me years to get to a point where I can describe what I actually think that it is. But for me, it's about delivering long-term well-being for all, and that can be human or non-human. So in other words, expanding the focus on providing intermediate stuff through intermediate resources. So we use money to create more money. We create stuff to deliver more stuff, and expanding that so that we're really focused in on the ultimate, as Daly would say, the ultimate means, which are our natural resources, but also our limited human capacity to serve others passionately with long-term well-being for all. Now, that starts the difficult question: what do we mean by long-term well-being for all? And I'm not going to even open that here. But that should be our starting and our end point of discussion, really. Everything goes to that.
Thank you. Jackie.
Wow. It took me quite a while to realise that I don't think there's ever been a time when I wasn't interested in environmental issues. I was born and brought up on the South Downs, and to make me sort of sleep at night, my godmother used to drag me up on the South Downs for a long walk before we went to bed. Sustainability, to me, is about the opportunity for everybody to make a difference to their lives, whether that's on a small local scale, whether it's being inspirational and leading global initiatives, whether that's investing in something for the good of the planet or the good of people. And I think a lot of the people that I've met over the years have had that same objective and same aim and same aspiration to do good for other people. Now, you can include that and you can interpret it in all sorts of other ways, but just occasionally I sort of wander out different places or go onto Google and find sort of vistas of places that I love, and just remind myself that that's what it's all about. It's about people, it's about places, and it's about the planet.
Duncan.
Thank you. I think of it more in terms of financially, living within my means. It's very difficult to try to sort of, wake up in the morning and tackle global problems. I'm a lawyer, so unless I have a client that wants me to do that, it's very difficult in my working life. But this question is about what it means personally. And in the same way that I make decisions about my children's education because of where I want to see them get to in life, in the same way that I make contributions to a pension because I don't want to starve in my old age, I try, but I don't always succeed, to have some thought to the consequences of the actions that I take, my spending decisions, and those choices. I'm not perfect. I do get on a plane occasionally. I used to blow things up for a living. But yeah, personally, it's just that trying to live within your means and be conscious of the impact of the decisions that we take today.
Thank you. Maya.
Yeah, similar to Duncan, really. I think for me, sustainability is a bit of a journey that we all go through. I think it starts, for me, it started at, my mum was a science teacher, so she was always encouraging me not to waste. Then I went to university and learned about sustainability, about the sort of textbook methods and explanations, and then I became a mother, and now sustainability to me is about trying to be a parent, demonstrating sustainability, encouraging my child to be sustainable, and that is really bloody difficult in this modern era. It's really hard. And as much as I try, and I tell my daughter about all of these different things, and at times she rolls her eyeballs and go, yeah, I know, Mummy, it's plastic. But she does listen. She does listen, and I learn from her in the way that I try and teach her about sustainability, about how I perhaps need to talk to others as well. And I know that sometimes people will roll their eyeballs and go, oh, here she goes again. But there are the days when I went on a run around our local, in our local area, an organised run, and my daughter and her friend were right at the back of the pack, and they were taking ages to come back. And we were like, where have they gone? They've probably just disappeared somewhere. And the reason why they were late is because they were collecting all the plastic cups that had been dropped by people on the way back, and that was like a major success for me. And that's what sustainability to me means to me personally, is when you have those little minor achievements that make you feel like you're working in the right directions towards sustainability.
For me personally, I'm actually quite inspired by one of the ways of the Iroquois, the 7 generations principle, in which every decision that we make should be thought about with 7 generations ahead in mind. And I feel like we've severely lost that, looking more towards increasing value for our stakeholders for the next quarter or looking at the next election cycle. So for me, sustainability is very much looking at how can we live with the planet instead of imposing our will upon it. We don't necessarily all have to give up the high quality of lifestyle that we've developed over the years, but we can definitely make it more efficient. We can definitely make our cities greener, green roofs, green walls. We can live with the wildlife. We can not kill all the wolves killing livestock, when probably make more economic sense to put up walls. Probably the only time I'll encourage to be putting up walls anytime soon. We can live with the environment. We are a smart species that can develop solutions. We have to recognize that our time on this planet is finite and our resources are finite, and we need to work to ensure that our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, 100, 200 years from now, can still enjoy the environment in the world that we've come to know. And we need to avoid the shifting baseline syndrome that we have developed, where I grew up was good, but not recognizing that the world that you guys grew up in was even better. We need to actually develop our society to actually go back to a more greener, biodiversity-rich environment.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you all panelists for that last question. And actually, if I could add my own notion of sustainability, as came to me earlier on in this session, and it is about the consequences of my actions. So if I do organise another one of these or something similar, I'll try and do everything and think about the impacts of what I'm organising. Well, I hope that you've had an interesting and informative time, stimulating time, or an inspiring time, hopefully. I know I have. If we could put our hands together for the contributions that our 5 panelists have. And my apologies to those 4 questioners who didn't get to ask their questions, but if you can grab a panelist somewhere in the wine reception, perhaps you can have a go at the informal approach at that time. Thank you very much, and thank you all for coming, and have a good relax up at the top and a good journey home. Thank you very much.